everyone, Cuddle Keeley here, Cuddle Therapist extraordinaire, with
Cuddle Queen Jean,
the amazing founder of Cuddle Sanctuary.
Yes.
We get asked, I know I get asked,
Yep.
I won't speak for you, all the time. I think I get probably 20 comments a day about how do you stay safe?
How do you stay safe? How do you do this work without getting harmed in some way? There are so many ways to stay safe in this work, even though if on the surface it seems scary.
And so let's just go through. Today we're not going to get real heady. We're going to go practical.
Yes.
What can we do? Here are the things. Boom, boom, boom. Would you like to start? You want me to start?
Okay, no, I'll start. One of them is I pay very close attention to what they write in their when they're filling out the form to request a session. What are they looking for? What language do they use? I pay attention to every word that's said so I can understand from them what are they seeking. And sometimes it quickly becomes clear that they're not seeking the services I offer. And the way to stay safe is to make sure that what I'm offering and what they are wanting are in harmony.
To dovetail off of that, another really practical thing I get, if I have any kind of tiny intuition, even the tiniest one, that they might be asking about like erections, or if they're asking about what I'll wear or whatnot, I try to be extremely verbal and direct, because often I find when I talk about it in really blunt terms, it takes away the power or the taboo of that thing, and either someone will really shy away because they've been called out, or they'll be like, oh, thank goodness, this is a place where I can talk about this, and so it's a sincere worry versus a let me see what I can get away with. How that looks, to be really practical about it, is like, hey, it sounds like you might be worried about possibly getting an erection in a session. Is that a worry for you? And just like by saying that, like naming it without any discomfort in myself, it robs it of its taboo and scintillating nature.
Yeah, and I feel like what you're getting at, just to clarify, is that some people reach out to professional cuddlers to titillate themselves, where they're not actually seeking platonic soothing services that they might be using, even reaching out to us or calling our small businesses for like erotic purposes. It's disrespectful. And how do we basically limit the amount of time we spend wasted with that kind of reach out?
And I'll say that's somewhat rare. For me, I really don't get that a whole lot, so I don't want to give the impression that like every third email is
It's not
this.
every third.
No. So so I do want to give a practical like view of that, but it does happen. What's another good one?
I think that looking at somebody's socials is really helpful. So if I can find them on social media and see a long history of them talking about their gardening or talking about the geeky games they love, their nerdy parts of themselves, I can feel a sense of safety with the person. If I connect to their socials and it has 3 posts from just the past week, it's probably somebody who might be using an alias and is... For some reason, it seems sketchy and concerning.
I'll often set a boundary. Sometimes it's a little arbitrary in an initial meeting to see whether or not they will follow it to the letter or if they push it. So I might say, please do not text response, only email. Or I might say something like, I need you to read the code of conduct and pick your favorite rule on the code of conduct or element of it. And when we talk next, you're going to tell me which one it is. If they have done that, it's like a little test. Did you hear this boundary and did you do the thing? There's still a conversation that can happen if they didn't, so I don't want people to be terrified if they're like, oh, well, they forgot. But it helps. It's one piece.
Along those lines, if somebody texts my business and says, I want a session, and then so this is similar to yours, and then I say, what you do is, here's a link and you fill this out, and then the response is, can I just text you? It's over for me. Maybe a newer cuddle where I have a whole lot of
patience or time or working with that. But
to talk about why there's a disrespect in that response. And if you're wondering, what is disrespectful about that? We are putting our bodies in private space with people we do not know well. And so if you don't pay attention to my boundary, just along the lines of how we do the administrative piece of getting to know each other, can I trust you?
I also find that it's a good gauge or indicator whether or not they see me as a professional or a possible friend. If I say, this is how I run my business, and they're like, oh, I just want to chit-chat with you on text, that tells me at least sometimes that they may not view me as a professional. They might view me as someone they're going to try to have either a muddled or confused relationship with it's not a professional setting.
Right.
Yeah.
What were we going to say? I feel like I ran out of ideas.
Oh, I have another really...
Okay, what's your...
Another safety thing is a text buddy. So a very
safety buddy.
Safety buddy. So the practice of that is I have a person designated. They know what time my session starts, what time the session is supposed to end, and the location I will be. They can know to expect a text from me once the session ends, and they know what to do, how long to wait if I am late in texting. They know the length of time to wait, and then they know what to do if I don't respond to their check-in text to me. So all of those things are the practice of a text buddy, and it helps keep me safer.
Yeah, and another aspect of that I use with my safety buddies or text buddies is that we have a word that the two of us know that if I use that word, it means that I am truly safe, and if I don't, it means that I might be in a situation where I need help. Mm-hmm. Never have I needed that, but having those kind of protocols in place, this is a really important part. Mm-hmm. Your clients know you have a safety buddy, right? Mm-hmm. This is an important part. We don't keep that in secret. Mm-hmm. The client needs to know we have these, that somebody has eyes on the session. I'm putting my hand here. They have eyes on the session. Yeah. That we are not anonymous.
Mm-hmm. Yes. They're confidential. The sessions are confidential. Mm-hmm. We respect that to the letter. Yeah. But they're not anonymous. That's a really good one.
Just thought of another one. Mm-hmm. I have my clients send me their driver's license. Mm-hmm. So they can't use an alias, and I'm just not going to put myself in private space with somebody if I don't know their identity.
I don't require that. It is a great practice. Mm-hmm. It does ensure more safety. And for me, I decided not to use that in my practice because I know a lot of people, it's kind of honoring whether or not someone is trying to navigate a dead name, or yes. Some people do have reasons for their life to be private that are not always a threat to me.
Right, relating to immigration, relating to wanting to be off the grid for a variety of value or ethical reasons. So I'm aware of it.
But I will say, it means that I have other practices that I supplement that with. So I require that the screening has to be via video. You cannot do a phone screening with me. We have to do via video, unless there is unless we're accommodating for a disability. Unless it's a disability accommodation, it has to be video because I need to be able to see.
There's so much you can read from somebody's body language. I can imagine because I'm comfortable with the phone voice, the driver's license, whatever. But I can imagine once you see them, you're just like, oh, they're fine. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, you're like, oh, this is going to be great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do you see how there are so many, and it's such a well-rounded list of things that we can do? I think the most important being gut feeling and instinct.
Listening to that, honoring that, not trying to talk yourself out of it.
I've tried it, and thank God I have a community around me to remind me to pay attention to the gut.
Mm-hmm. Paying attention to the gut, the last little piece I'll say on that is you don't have to have a reason. You don't have to fully understand and know exactly why you have a gut reaction. Yeah. You just need to hear it. Just hear that gut reaction, and oftentimes I'll even inappropriate settings, which takes a little bit more experience knowing when it's an appropriate setting, but say, this isn't feeling right to me. Let's look at some other resources that we can get you, but I know that I can't be the best practitioner for you if I'm having this feeling. So let's find you other resources.
Yeah, this actually happened to me where somebody wanted a session, and it's somebody I do like, and I was having like a sense of terror. Mm-hmm. I couldn't explain it. Mm-hmm. So my colleague had a lovely session with this person, but there was something in me that said no, and I must respect it.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have anything necessarily to do with that person, possibly, but it does mean if you are having that feeling, you can't be, in my opinion, you cannot be the kind of practitioner that they do deserve.
That's so well put. It's like, it's a win-win when we say no.
Yes.
Because both people need to be all in for it to be a lovely, soothing, nurturing session that's
Profound.
worth,
Yeah.
even profound, that's worth the money that's being spent.
Yeah.
It needs to be great.
Thank you so much for joining us. I think we've given you a couple of practical tips. If you have other questions, definitely leave them in the comments below. Definitely check out Cuddle Queen Jean's YouTube as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say before we go?
Just, it's a pleasure to talk about safety. We get that question all the time, so thanks for listening.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.